The gift of the Father. The gift of the Father. I carry with me lots of gifts of my birth father. And today, I wish to share with you the gift of the Father in the human first. And then I will morph that into the metaphysical Father and that gift that provides for us moment to moment. And so the next picture is my cowboy DNA. And so I come by it from, not that, but from my believing it's that, but also born in Texas, my siblings and I, a couple of hundred years ago. And so I use that part of my background that I savor, and I bring it forth in my life. So happy Father's Day to each one of us. How many had a father? It's a test, it's a test. Good, you all pass. You all pass. Because if it wasn't for the Father, we would not be here today. My father made his transition in 1979. And I miss him every day in the physical sense. But through what he gave me, I have him with me whenever I choose to remember him. He was a very powerful figure in my life. He taught me a lot of things. Some I've chosen to keep. Others I've chosen to work through. And I miss him for all of that, for all of that. So I share with you in the beginning here what my biological father has created thus far in this world. There were 3 of us children. I, the middle child. Unknown to me, I thought I was the firstborn. He had a child before myself and my sister in his first marriage, who was taken off by her mother when she was 8 and I was just born. And so for the first 8 or 10 years, I was the firstborn. And if you're the firstborn, you're the #1 kid. The whole family knew what was going on but us, because, you know, as children you say, where is she? Why don't you know? And if you know me, I ask those questions a lot. I'm a wonder man. I wonder a lot, you know? And so they chose to keep that a family secret because they knew that she loved her father so much that she would seek him out when she could. And so she did. And so that is the foundation of my family dynamics. And so there are times when I use, oh, that's because I'm a middle child, if I'm acting out in a not so pleasant way. But in reality, you know, there is no middle, first, second, or last, or whatever. We're all children of the Father, of our fathers. So my older sister is my half-sister, the only one to produce children in our family. She had 2 from her first, who produced 6 grandchildren. From her second marriage, she produced no children. From her third marriage, there's a theme here. From her third marriage, she acquired 2 stepchildren. So they became my niece and my nephew. Last June, I officiated at this nephew's marriage, and he told me this June that they're expecting their first child in December. my Father, oh, my Father, what you have wrought. So you can see from the family web, I call it, the connectivity of life. And a lot of us have that. We have that here in our family community. And if we search long enough, if we ask the right questions, if we listen deeply, as Reverend Kathy talked about last week, we are certain to hear something that says, yes, I know you. I know you. The gift of Father continues to be unwrapped for all of us. And so for me, the telling of the remembrances allowed the feelings of my father, my dad, my biological father, to surface. And it made me realize the impact he made in my life. I miss him. So what is missing? What is missing? Missing is remembering, recalling, and it's an awareness of, and it brings to the moment an inner feeling that I cherish, Because at the heart of a missing is something that we have experienced and hopefully have loved. Otherwise, I wouldn't miss it. I don't know about you. But if I have loved deeply, I miss deeply. And for me, this deep sense, this inner sense, is our God connection. This inner spot that is so sweet. And the more we engage each other with this sweet spot within each one of us, the richer our fabric of life is. Remembering, to me, is the connective tissue of mind and heart. And it causes the heart to pump a little bit faster for me, and the blood to course more easily through the body. There's a peacefulness, like in the contemplation, here we are today. We are remembering, we are returning, we are going within, we are sensing, and we are allowing our bodies through the mind to operate efficiently, peacefully, and in full health. Ernest Holmes wrote this: I love my past and my future and understand that they are but contributions to the one chain of life. Our past and our future, they're connected. And here we are right in the middle of all of it, like the middle child. So in truth, we're all a middle child of the Father, the God, the one life Spirit. I'd ask you to close your eyes for a moment. And remember back as far as you can in your past to your early childhood. Now, in this memory, take a moment to notice, was your biological father in the picture? And if not, was there an uncle, a cousin, maybe a grandfather, possibly a coach or a school teacher? For you see, each of these can be a father figure. What words or actions did this person demonstrate for you? What principles of living were given to you? It could be one word. Commitment, joy, enthusiasm. When you know the word, simply thank that individual. Now I invite you to bring your awareness back into the room. What are some of those words for you? Solid. Hmm? Trust. That's my love. Trust is my word. Joy. Strength.
Support.
Yeah. Encouragement, support. Yes, all. Consistency. These are the words we live from. These are the gift of the Father idea through each one of us. These are our expectations of others. And they are demonstrations in our lives. If we let them reign, these encouraging words, because in the beginning was the Word. In the beginning is our word of who we are. We are the living examples of our fathers, no matter who they were or who they are. Because you see, I have experienced the words of my biological father from people around me because I attract that to me. They'll say, I trust you. Well, thank you. Ooh, you know. And so whatever that is, listen for it in others because you draw that to you. You're a magnet for who you are. I'd invite you to look around the room at each other's father, no matter the gender. Because there is your biological father. When I was a child, last week, this morning I was a child too, but we won't talk about that. I don't have much time. One of my favorite shows was The Wild Kingdom. Anyone ever see The Wild Kingdom? I loved it. Wide open, spaces and Africa, South America, all those great adventure places. And so I love adventure. That's one of my key experience words is adventure. I'm on a life adventure. And every episode of that show had a common theme or a thread. To me, I thought it was survival because each animal had its role. This one ate that one, and then it ate that one, and then it ate that one. Everybody was well-fed and well-nourished, but it was sort of an unspoken agreement of Mother Nature. But what I'm saying here is each animal had its perfect role. Some chased, some ran, some swam, some just waited. Kind of like us. Kind of like us. That's God calling. Thank you, Father. Love that. Always the perfect time. Perfect. That's my shill. So, it's a metaphor for our lives. Some of us chase, some of us circle, some run away, while others wait patiently. Are you living a wild kingdom life? And which role is yours? Which role is yours? We have volition in our life. We have choice. Ernest Holmes reminds us our creative power is marvelous. For every time we think, we set the law in motion. And another, the assertive principle of being, the projective principle of life, impregnating the universal soul with its ideas and concepts. That's what the Father within does. The gift of the Father. The gift of the Father is a very powerful influence in our lives. I wrote something about my idea of the gift of Father and what it is to me. The gift of Father has offered me the gift to explore a few remembrances of my own father and how he exampled the masculine, because we're discussing that principle in Science of Mind. My dad was both powerful and mysterious at the same time. To me, he was bigger than life. It was not only his 6-foot height, and when you're a small child, that's pretty tall, but also his many influences toward my own growth and development. My father supported me in life, no matter what I chose to do, because they said, "We trust you." And I did not want to ever ruin that in my life. I didn't want to foul that part of my family life. And so, when I chose to go into hairdressing at an age of like 18 and 1 month, they were all about that. Is this your calling? Yes, it is. And so that whole idea of father support, when I got into this teaching of the science of mind, and behind every effect as a cause, here's that masculine father principle operating through us, backing us up, saying yes to whatever it is, and empowering that idea to demonstrate for us. Ernest Holmes writes on this idea of empowerment. Behind every effect, there is a cause. And this cause is a spiritual idea, which must be, because it is. And it follows that should the spiritual idea be discerned, the physical effect would be like it. The entire possibility of demonstrating the law of good depends upon this proposition. The idea is father to the fact. Every idea is father to the fact. Ideas are real, having the power within themselves to be made manifest. The gift of Father is accepting a new possibility of good in your life, right here, right now. And what I know is that this is one of the principles we offer in Science of Mind teaching. The potential of goodness is ready and willing and available when we change our mind to something new. If we are not in a good feeling about what's happening for us now. You know, when I first came into this particular teaching, I heard, change your thinking, change your life. Okay, well, whatever. La la la, sounds good, sounds good. Took me a little while to really get that, though. What did it take to change my thinking? What had the father of all my beliefs carried forth to that point? What was I demonstrating? First thing I chose to demonstrate was a new car. I didn't like the payment book much. I didn't think about that part. But here comes the car. It was not a comfortable experience. I could not afford to have the car financially. But I thought I had changed my mind behind the sense of, but I had not. So thank you, experience. Thank you, experience. Thank you. Because we have experiences that come to us. We go, oh, I'm no good. See, there's another example. No, they're for our good. They are for our good. So, my friends, life is about a creative process, isn't it? The gift of the Father is the Father within. And so I'd like to have you pay attention, if you choose. And it's the creative process in the individual. Where's my book? Here it is. We have it in the bookstore. Love this book. And it's by Thomas Troward. Anyone know Thomas Troward? No. Well, I'll go slow and, okay. Yes. I've never known a sentence to go on for 5 pages, but he could do it. Attorney that he was. So it's the chapter on the denouement of the creative process. The unchangeable law is that the suggestion becomes the life. All right? And this is equally true of suggestions of a happier sort. Those who have brought over with them the great truth that their conditions are the creations of thought, and who have accustomed themselves while in the objective life, what's out there, to dwell on good and beautiful ideas, are still able, by reason of being imbued with this suggestion, to mold the conditions of their consciousness in the subjective world, which is the realm of the Father, the law. This law, directive power of the Word, confers liberty. So by using this law of the constructive power of thought, we can determine the conditions of our own consciousness. So instead of being compelled to suffer the nightmare dreams of the other thoughts, we can mold our dreams according to our will. End quote. Was that pretty clear? We'll do a class on this later. So, beloveds, let the Father of your experiences live in authority for your good. The Father of all times is the ever-supportive nature of the divine affirming your choices. The Father of all times is the ever-supportive nature of the divine affirming your choices. That's the good, the affirmation of what we know to be true for ourselves. The Father of all times is the potentiality to live a magnificent life in your unique and gifted manner. So, live full, love unconditionally. And remember, it's one of my favorite questions. Okay? If you were going to die, who would you call? And why are you waiting? I'll go first. Center for Spiritual Living Community, I love you. I love you. I appreciate all you have done to hear. being part of my life. I'm not going to die, I don't think, today, but you never know. Be current. If you were going to die, who would you call? Who would you tell? And why are you waiting? Do it now. Do it today. And so it is. Namaste.